Hello and welcome to another review of an action figure based on Toei properties, as well as something that Ishimori himself created. But this is not SH Figuarts. This company, Evolution Toys, specializes in adapting really old retro Showa heroes into figures that I guess Bandai themselves just can't be bothered or have given up upon. So yeah, very retro colors. Side of the box showing you the figure again and a few different poses, as well as a picture in front of some rocks to make it look like it's from the show. And we got our general warnings right here. So Hero Action Figure Toei Edition Inazuman. This is the one I picked up. They've released other figures previously, but this one's the one I picked up because I sort of just know him from, you know, his cameos and Kamen Rider stuff. And there was a reimagining version of him in one of the Kamen Rider Force movies. So instruction sheet on the back, pretty big piece of paper, lots of warnings and stuff, and done on black and white. This really could have been printed like double-sided, save on paper, whatever, and it's literally an A4 sheet in black and white print. It's even as thin as regular A4 sheet, and huge baggie here. This is all reminding me of the old days of Figuarts from long ago when their instruction sheets would be in little baggies as well. And here we go. Speaking of, the figure itself also reminds me of Ultra Act, which is an older subline of SH Figuarts. Something that Bandai doesn't really do anymore, except in China for some reason. You can still see new releases exclusive to Tin Mao in China for some reason. They really like Ultraman there. So, which is also one thing which I'm guessing also why they decided to do it this way. That a lot of these figures are actually sort of related somewhat to Ultraman franchise. Not this one, but all the other ones seem to be. So they probably went with Ultra Act because for the older fans who already bought a bunch of Ultra Act figures, and these can come along with it. So anyway, everything poured out. You can see we got, aside from the fist already attached to the figure, we also have a pair of flat open hands for posing, a set of finger pointing posing hands, and a set of item holding / pointing hands. I do want to note that these hands have that definite glove look to it that a lot of Showa Kamen Riders have as well. Moving over to the figure itself, he stands at roughly 17 centimeters or 6 and 8 inches, 6 and 8. If I bring in the SH Figuarts Decado here, you can see they're completely different scales, so forget about it. So he's closer to like Mafex or other 7-inch figures. And for some reason, this piece is separate from the head, so whatever, let's stick that on him. And that means every time you put him back in the box, you're gonna have to remove this horn as well. It's not going, there we go. Peg in. I had a little pointy bit, that was painful. So this plastic here is relatively hard. Yeah, be safe with this. It will snap if you're not careful. And I mean, these should be like little moth, like furry bits, but it's fine, I guess. So yeah, Mafex size, even the plastic quality reminds me a bit more of Mafex. He's not as like heavy or bulky as an SH Figuarts maybe, because he is bigger, but he still weighs the same as that DK figure I just picked up. So it's got that Mafex feel to me, but it feels like a knockoff of Mafex. It's cheaper. There are good things and bad things about this that I've noticed on this figure, but let's go for the good first. First of all, the overall coloring and look of it is very nice compared to how he looks in the show. So looking at this figure, let's go over the good points first. For one thing, I like the color differentiating the armor bit, or the spongy bit that he had in the original show, compared to the sort of spandex suit. There is a color difference there, and it is also represented on this figure. The overall aesthetics of it is very accurate to the actual show version of this suit, so that's quite nice as well. And of course, for the most part, he has similar articulations to other Japanese figure brands, which is a good thing. But that's where all the nice things end. For one thing, the yellow coloring isn't that consistent and drawn out of line. You see here, it crosses the line. And second thing, the yellow coloring is also very thin and easy to scratch off. There's a scratch there, as well as a big line there. And I haven't been that rough with this figure either. For the most part, I've been relatively gentle. And compared to other figures, that yellow is not on. That's coming off very quickly. The overall joints of this figure is also quite ugly. They're using the older system that you might get in some of the very old SH Figuarts. that's something that they don't do anymore. Whereas here we got these ugly joints showing up, and they also use the older style where you pull the leg down, it's a ball hinge in there. I'm guessing they did this because to copy older Ultra-X or older Showa related figures, but if the scale is going to be quite different from some of the other figures, what's the point in that? And once again, I really don't like that I have to remove or pick this on every single time. I don't like that this is hard plastic without any kind of give whatsoever. And I don't like that this piece here is all molded as a solid piece, whereas it really should have had feathers. In every single version of the suit I can see online, it's a feather sort of deal. Another thing that I noticed was this thing actually popped off quite easily first time I was messing around with it. You can see there's also white plastic due to stretching already on a brand new figure. That is not on. Why does it come off so easily? And why is the ball peg already starting to break the figure? Another thing is, you notice this hip is that, look, I lean to the side, there's a huge gap there, and that is very ugly. That's part of the joint problem where everything uses an older style, or they don't have good enough engineers to sort that out. Yeah, and this isn't their first figure either. They have a bunch of Ultraman related figures already out, and I'm guessing all of them are going to be suffering the same problems. Just going to go over articulation now. He does have a double neck joint, so he can look a little bit down, a little bit up, but because of the scarf in the way, it's not helping too much. He does have rotation here, but I'm not sure if they're using a softer plastic in the joint or not. Well, that's not good. There's no ball joint in here, rotating and looking up and down. Why didn't they just go for ball joint? I don't know. But yeah, I actually forgot that this was gonna happen. But it did happen previously, but it's not broken or anything. I'm glad there's a softish plastic in there, so I can easily put the head back on. Thank God for that. If it snapped, I really would have trashed, just said this company should give up making toys. At least this piece is very, very soft. I wish this material was used for that, but it's, again, unfortunately not. These shoulder pads move like around. They're very soft plastic. They rotate around the arm. You can see there, it's hooked onto there. So arm goes up that far, but it can't anymore. There's the upper arm rotation here. A dumbbell joint in there. Full rotation. Yep. Double elbow joint. And hand is on a peg and swivel. Body goes way back and way forward, way sideways and way up. That came off. Okay then. Leg goes down, leg goes up. I haven't done this in a while. Leg goes down, leg goes up. Maybe a year, 2 years. And up, back, sideways. So that's one good thing with these joints, is that you can do more extreme poses with them. Double knee joint at far. Does have the details on there. Foot goes up, back. Let's go sideways. Rotates just a little bit, but not really, a little bit sideways. Toe goes up, toe goes down. Ooh, tippy toes. I haven't seen that in a while either. But I don't know if it's because this figure is bigger or not, but it does feel like his shoes are a little bit on the large size. And you know, if any of the designers are watching this, if I can see that far inside there, the inside better damn well be painted with the rest of the blue color. I think there's a little bit of no paint in there. So yeah. Picking up this figure, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. The plastic itself is that hard plastic mixed with some soft plastic areas, and overall it feels fine in the hand. The paint quality, I like the colors that they've chosen, but I feel like the painting itself could improve. There's odd linings as well as some of the paint scratching off way too easily. The figure itself also shows a lot of seam lines that I'm not happy with, but then again, other premium figures such as Mafex has this problem as well, so take that as you will. In terms of the joint, for the most part they seem secure enough, but I feel like because they're using an older style of joints, especially around the hips, that's something that's going to get loose over time. If you just pose this figure and just put him on a shelf, it's fine, but if you're someone who likes to, you know, change the pose a lot or mess around the figures, this figure will probably loosen up after a while, and that might become quite annoying. But hey, ball joints are easy to retighten by dropping a bit of super glue in there and keep moving it so it doesn't get stuck, but that adds a very thin layer of plastic essentially that retightens the joint, so it's not too big of a deal. However, the hand swapping is way too tight. It's really hard to plug on some of the other hands onto this figure, and I don't feel like I want to do that again after taking those few different hand accessory photos just for this video. It's a pain. The overall articulation is decent enough, while not quite up to standard with some of the Japanese brands. It's good enough, gets the job done, and I'm fine with that. Although that neck joint does worry me a little, and the shoulder joints do annoy me a little as well. And of course the hip joints are just quite ugly, but it does give him extra articulation and extra movement. In terms of accessories, he only comes with those hands, which are fine, but yeah, that's it. Shouldn't he come with something else? I just feels missing. If they couldn't give us any accessories, could they have given us a stand? Maybe anything, just anything to come with this figure? Nope. How about just a second scarf in a slightly different position, like a wind one? No, nothing. Oh, okay. So here's the thing, if you're a big fan of this particular character, this is the best figure you can get of him, and that's also unfortunate. It's great that there's a company out there giving these more obscure characters some attention that other companies just aren't anymore these days. However, this figure still also leaves a lot to be desired for, and the big problem with this figure is its price point. For the price of this figure is a premium price, but the figure itself is not a premium experience. I feel like this is near the quality of something from Black Series, and that's not, you know, stepping down a Black Series these days. They've done quite good stuff, but you know, they are a cheaper figure, and for what they are these days, they're pretty good. This figure does not deserve its price point and should be priced closer to something from Black Series. And I get that partially that's probably due to licensing fees and all that, but whatever the excuse is, the price is still a premium price, and you need to give us a figure that feels good in the hand. If you can't afford to put extra accessories in here or whatever, you should still at least provide us with a really good figure. Figure feels like it reminds me of one of the earliest SH figures released 5, 6, 7 years ago, and yeah, that's not good. But there's something good here. All of its problems add together that I just can't recommend this figure unless you are a huge fan of this particular character and design, or if you're a huge fan of some of the other characters that they release, and you must have a 1/12 scale figure of that character, then I guess okay. But for most people, I say give this a skip. I personally will not be picking up any more figures from this brand until they do a complete overhaul with their figure designs. There's just far too many problems here to ignore. Don't really feel like keeping this. I regret purchasing this. I don't know, just try harder. This figure is almost there, but some of the other stuff just annoys me too much. Subscribe, suggest, and comment below, and of course take care and have a nice day. I will see you guys soon. Bye bye now.